Hi, welcome to the Fatherly Edition, a podcast by Tommaso Maggio alongside with a cavalcade of Daddy. Join us!
Couple more. Yeah, sure.
That's how we start our interview. With this unusual intro that André is playing with his dog. You explain this a real and unusual way.
Run. She needs to run a lot to the morning. So hyper excited.
That's fantastic.
Okay. Now we have some time.
Great.
Now she chases after the arrows and it's okay. So thank you,
Yeah.
Tommaso, for having me. And it's been a while since we saw each other, like from the Planetary Collegium PhD program, right? The sessions together. It's great to see you again, and it's beautiful that you're organizing this business of positing parenting, the fatherhood edition, which is really nice.
Thank you.
Many others have you lined up for your event?
Now I have selected just 10 people to participate at one table because for the time zone that are quite different, so it will be even hard to put together those 10 people. In the meantime, I start collecting interview one by one, like this one with you, and then I have people that someone are based here but with different nationality. People are in Europe, Australia to US.
Yeah.
So this is just the starting point because I talk with Daddy since a number of years, of course, since that we are a daddy. And with the COVID lockdown, so I did some activity with my daughter, and that's bring to have some sort of community online with other partners, and then to catch up as well. So
yes, you published the book with your daughter, right?
Yes, exactly.
Did the book together.
Exactly. This was
It's a beautiful idea.
Thank you.
I'm also in the pipeline. I have a kind of game. I do some game designing and art installations and stuff like that. And I've been brainstorming with my son. We usually have lots of fun just playing games together, making up games, and we have these ideas like to make some kind of gaming experiments, and I really hope to make them happen sometime soonish, and it's brilliant that you already are doing things with your kid, because it's like the most important thing that we can live for the future, and the way we raise them and the way they face this world, which is really awkward in a way.
Yeah, I think we need to consider what was the positive part, especially during the lockdown. That was not easy for anyone, but at least, as you say early, we had the chance to spend a bit more time with our family. It was not easy for many aspects of it, because working, play at the same time, on the same space, not easy. But you need to find the good part of it. So the good part, maybe you have a chance to know better your daughter, your son, and that's at least what happened to me. So the idea that instead of stand in front of just the screen, and watching television all day on Netflix, so why you don't do something? So, and then
that's right. Exactly. We had to relearn how to live in confined spaces, which is really a nice idea. I actually have a very positive view on COVID and the lockdown thing, because it forcing people be at home and parenting at the same time and tending to classes. Like my son is already 15. He's already in 10th grade. So we experienced like the pandemic, 2 years of pandemic in Portugal since he was in the 7th to the 8th grade. So he was already almost, how do you say, an old child and a near teenager. Now he's already like a teenager, claiming his own space and individuality, which poses a lot more challenges. I guess the positive thing about COVID, besides like locking down people and pollution dropping fast on the planet, was like everyone had to really find ways, as you are saying, to stay in the same place, and sometimes like relaxing, sometimes it's working, having like trying to have a normal life, being locked inside the house. And in a way, this experiment changed a lot my views of like how we could make this planet work a bit for better, you know. And also parenting during lockdown actually for me was quite interesting, because I got to here in Portugal they were broadcasting classes on national television. So I got to watch some classes with my son, you know, and it was interesting to see what teachers were saying about like introduction to physics and sound waves and light radiation and Portuguese classes and math. So there was, I think, a lot more positive accompaniment from my part on his tutoring. At the same time, as you were saying, it was also very hard because, I mean, he lost a lot of the social contact he would have with other friends, but they found some ways. They were like constantly in classes, they were chatting in Zoom or making funny jokes, or you know, they would meet up in Zoom after classes or something like that. So I guess this kind of challenges that the pandemic brought to this, I view some of them or most of them like positive challenges.
Yes, I think it's about the narrative, you know, how we tell the story. So of course, if you say to your kids that everything is negative, so just the lockdown to make crazy, of course that's a reflect because they absorb whatever energy you have in the house. But if you show that at least during this time you learn new tools that can be digital tools, another way to communicate with your friends, and of course those things are strange for a generation like if we think 20 years ago, if those things happened 20 years ago where we have no Zoom call, no Skype, no such a thing, that would be a very different story. So we can really, I mean, at least most of us had the opportunity to spend time with family. At the same time, others, of course, do those politics. They just, some family set apart because some border closed down. And that is a fact. But again, even those cases, I met people that, of course, they try to bring up the best part, this, or the situation, the context, or the son. You see what you can bring now. So now, as you say, you can change perspective, and that, of course, is a way of learning, a way to grow up. I think make a lot of struggle and depend of generation and depend of how old are the kids as well. that are being affected by the COVID, because mine was 2 years old, a bit less than that.
Yeah.
And she just started to socialize and move into the new country while everything shut down quite suddenly. So it was different according to age, of course. They accept or not, probably even with their own life experience. But again, I think our role is just to twist a bit, no? What we have in our hand, how we tell the story.
Yes, exactly.
And again,
I think it brought.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I was just about to underline there were negative aspects, of course. During lockdown, as most people, I faced, like, when I was not with my son, I had a big time when I was not with him and locked down by myself in my place and doing remote work. I was like 3 months without being with him. So this was like a complicated experience. But afterwards, I got to hang out with him like for 3 months in a row, and it was a very, very positive experience, like high contrasting state of mind and family, because as I was saying, the COVID, what brought during this lockdown was the ability to for people to underline themselves. Cleo, look up. Sorry, she's like there. The people here also walking the dog, and she does. So this experience of lockdown, in my view, was of course negative, because no one wants a pandemic and suddenly the whole world and everyone is locked down. But at the same time had, I think, a positive impact to make us rethink how we go about our working relationships, how we can, using technology, do remote work and try to find a sort of balance in the midst of this chaos.
I think bring even a sort of rethink, the idea of gender equity, because most of the time, people say, oh, this is things that mommy does, this is things that daddy does. But while on the lockdown, anyway, we are on the same stage, everyone. So everybody at home at the same time. So again, this make people to rethink what are the preconceptions, When I present the books I did with my daughter, some from the public, ask and say, is your wife jealous of it? I said, not jealous. Of course, she is happy that we both can spend a different time, in a different way, and bring a different perspective to our daughter. But I notice still in our society, north to south, a lot of preconception what a maid should be, what is the role of a father, what is the role of a mother. Like you have a precise list, what is under the name of daddy and what is under the name of mother. That's maybe for others I have certain mind
two roles at the same time, since I'm separated from the mother of my son for a while now, and I've fought for 8 years for half the custody of him, so for me it's like a special case, because I play like both roles whenever I'm with him. So we split time 50-50 until he's big of age and can make his own decisions. But in the end, it gave me a lot of structure. Parenting is a life-changing event for everyone, of course, and it has lots of responsibilities, lots of hardships, lots of beautiful moments. that cannot be easily experienced any other way. You have to really go through it. You have to, especially when they are young, you really have to change your whole life and be there for you like 24 hours of the day, and there's lots of things you have to like professionally give up because you have a responsibility in order to educate him the best that you can. Of course, this is one view. There are many people that don't do this kind of thing, but for me it was really important that he had from a very young age a very solid structure and full support, and in the back end, from myself and from his mother also. And in the end, I think it paid off because he's already 15 and he has a very interesting structure. And he has to. I think he learned a lot on how to. To understand both his parents' support in whatever choices he makes in his life. And I think as you were also aiming to propose, I think parenthood relationship changed a lot, like in these generations, and COVID just fast-paced a lot of changes that were about to happen as to how people relate to their sons, and it gave time for people either to be depressed and not do anything about it, or to positively construct a change that I think is very necessary if we want for this world to be like a better place for humans and all life on this planet, which at the moment is dim, with the war and the pandemic and everything going on.
As somebody say, we are the change.
So I think it's up to the parents and to the kids to try to educate them the best way that we can in order for them to be ready to tackle the challenges that are about to come.
Yeah, I don't think our part is just educating, because, as you say, we are learning from each other. Probably the past generation, like my father, your father generation, say, we educate you. But now we say, we learn from each other. It's like we are on the round table with our kids. Of course, we share with them more experience. So we have more experience with that because we are older, for some fact. But they can learn much quicker many things than us. So, and that's a good way of thinking that both of us are sharing.
Yes, I noticed that a lot.
It's like
Yeah,
we work with students. We have the same experience. So students are much younger than us, and we say we teach them. But at the end of the day, we always learn something from them. And from our kids, of course, we can learn more because it's, as you say, it's life-changing, and you notice things that you don't even notice before they're born. And then somehow, in any way, it's thanks to them.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the perspective. Sometimes it's the parenting perspective, but as you highlighted before, we need to highlight their perspective. What is their point of view? And find a way to spend time. You do a project, a video game, a book, whatever. You just make them at the center, not just some props that eventually I will list.
Not just some props or some toys like many people in our society do with their kids, and and just offload them like to nurses or people that are with their sons like every day while they lead intense professional lives, and they completely disregard their education and time that they spend with their son in favor of their own goals or aims, or and I think this is also a major issue that new parents like you and like myself are tackling in a positive way in order to foster change, so that we can build a better world for everyone. I think for me, I see it like that, and for me, my son is like the most important part in my life. He was such a life-changing experience, to witness the kind of purity that a baby has when he comes to the world, and the way they circumnavigate the energetic waves that all life has to offer. They have this special relationship with all their surroundings, and they are like intense sponges at young ages. They soak every kind of energy and every kind of how do you say in English, vibration,
vibes.
They are very subtle beings, and they can intuitively connect and get in touch with aspects that we as more mature humans or older Earth humans usually forget.
Yeah, we are not able to do it, right? Because maybe we overthink, and maybe without.
And for me, being a parent, also, I mean, I'm not trying to like many parents that I look at do. Many people also just try to relive their childhood through their sons. Like if it was their own. It has some aspects like that we can sense, but in the end, he's a different human being, and people have to be highly aware that. So there need to be. It's always a double-edged sword situation. On the one hand, you have to be the father or the mother and impose like limits and responsibilities and boundaries for them to exist and to operate. And this is very important. You cannot let them just run wild and do whatever they want. They have to understand that, of course, they can play and they should play as much as they can, but like playing with rules and having boundaries and stuff that they really cannot do. And this is super important. And I guess this is where laws and political systems fail, because in the end, laws and political systems and society in general is just like a formalization of this kind of attitude that we can have like with our kids and trying to raise them. If you're actually trying to raise your son the best way that you can, as you were saying at the beginning, it besides being a lot of responsibility, you devote yourself. So you give up your own professional life and you make time for him to be the center of the attention instead of just being a simple prop. And this, I think, is a very important consideration and aspect that
André, sorry,
yes.
time is almost done.
Okay.
We can continue the conversation for hours because there is so much to say. So this is just
That's very interesting.
a quick conversation. Thank you for to be a sort of testimonial of what it means to be a father, especially in your case that you have this complex, no? That you are past these 8 years of complication somehow, but now you solve it anyway, and that make you stronger.
Yes.
As a father, human being, and somebody can share all those things with his son. So you say that was a sort of molding both of you somehow in a different way, but give you a very specific perspective. So
Yes.
we will catch up again on the round table with others. So in the meantime, thank you very much. And
Thank you so much, Tommaso. I hope
you.
this was a nice contribution.
it was
See you soon.
fantastic. Thank you very much.
Hi! Thanks for listening, the Fatherly Edition. If you like what you've been hearing, please follow Tommaso Maggio on LinkedIn or subscribe to the Fatherly Edition podcast on Spotify, Apple, or whatever you gain your podcasts.